from the plant story. So today I'm going to be continuing the propagation series on some very cute plants, succulent, which need very little care, and I'll show you how you can actually propagate them. So I will have 3 plants today. This one here is called String of Hearts. It's very no wonder it's called String of Hearts, because you have like heart-shaped leaves that are in strings. Okay, so they grow quite easily without much care if you give them very good air ventilation. You can hang them up, which I usually do at the veranda, or you can I've seen people growing them indoor quite successfully, but the key thing is you need to give them very good air ventilation. Okay, so this is String of Hearts, and then you have the other one, which is called the String of Pearls. Again, is another succulent. So the String of Pearl, they grow in the same living condition as String of Hearts. This one here has got this wood sorrel. It's edible. They started to grow out of the blue, so I'm not going to do much about it, but I'm just going to show you how this can be propagated. And then last but not least, we have the Dischidia. So Dischidia, it's one of my favorite plants too, because they're quite easy to propagate, right? In fact, they're actually epiphytes. Epiphytes, meaning to say they grow on trees. This one actually started growing from the bottom of the pot. The pot is already quite broken here, so I'm going to try to propagate this as well. Alright, so let's start with the String of Hearts. So if you look closely, the String of Hearts actually have got little bulbs, okay, which can be ready, to be propagated. If you have the bulb, then it'll be quite easy for you to propagate, because you can actually just cut this and then stick it into the soil. Okay, otherwise it's actually quite easy for you to propagate by just cutting, this part here, and then just putting it into the soil. In fact, this one, okay, this was propagated from this plant. Okay, so this was actually the parent plant. Interestingly, it looks more sad right now. So the parent plant actually started to just have the String of Hearts just growing from the bottom, and then one day it started to dislodge. So there was a bunch of these that actually dropped on the floor. So what I did was I actually pick it up, and then I just stick it into the pot, and this is what you get after a couple of months. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it now. So I've identified, so there's some of these here. Okay, so I'm going to cut here. So that you can see, but basically this bulb, right? So this can continue to be put on the side. Okay. I'm gonna grow and put it inside here actually. So this is actually a pumice, a desert mix that is you kind of quite sandy in general, I think. So it's actually an old pot that I'm trying to recycle. So what I like to do is to kind of like loosen up the soil. It doesn't need very deep roots, so it's quite a shallow root system. Okay. So I'm going to loosen up everything here, and then let's see the bulb. I'll try to bury that. It. So this is what I have. I just need to put it in a place where there's bright light, and I need to water. Not too moist, you know, but I need to water so that it's actually, moisture inside the soil. So this is one. Okay, so coming down to the string of pearls, in fact just now as I was kind of working on it, this two fell. Okay, I've got three actually. So they broke, and then as you can see, they're actually roots, right? So there are roots already, so it becomes a lot easier for me. But even though if there are no roots, okay, these are aerial roots that basically just came out. So I can just cut anywhere along the aerial roots and stick it into the soil so that they will grow, okay? So since they are actually aerial roots, I'm going to just cut the aerial roots, huh? So I'm just going to clear this. Right, so same thing. This is an old pot. I'm just gonna just loosen up soil. These are quite porous soil, but there's no plant in it for a while. So after I've loosened up, I will just stick all these in. Okay, quite a lot. Right, so this is the second one. And then last but not least, I will have the Dischidia, which is an epiphyte. So again, same thing. There are quite a lot of aerial roots. I'm just going to cut where the aerial roots are. Sometimes you get sap, but it's perfectly fine. So this is the sap. I'm not sure if you can see. It's white in color. Yeah. So sometimes if you're sensitive, you might get a bit itchy on the skin. Just need to wash it with water. Just leave the rest first, but I'm just going to show you how you can propagate. So with all these cuttings and roots, you can just loosen up the soil. You can grow this in soil, which is what I'm doing, but you can also grow this in cocoa peat, coconut husk, because they're epiphyte. You don't actually need them to be in soil. And it can be like, yeah, it can be just remnants of coconut husk, because they like to be in quite a dry condition. So sometimes if there's too much soil and all this sort of thing, they might just rot. Okay, get one more of this. Right, so that's what I have. These small little plants, and then we'll see what happens in maybe a month's time. Right.